Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today I'm very excited to finally have an official version of a toy of this thing, finally. And this is the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Hasbro PulseCon 2023 exclusive Tommy Oliver Master Morpher. Yes, so this is such a bittersweet item. We should have got this thing years ago when it first appeared in Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel. We should have got it in the Legacy line. It was based off the Legacy mold. That was what the prop was based off of. People have been making customs of this thing, either with the Legacy mold or the Lightning mold, for literally half of a decade. And now we finally have it here, unfortunately, just about a year before the anniversary of the passing of JDF, which is so bittersweet. But JDF did record lines for this toy. He kind of made this whole thing happen thanks to this whole conversation he had with Hasbro that I'm going to be playing right now if you haven't heard it before.
So, and I did talk to, between me and you, I talked to Hasbro. They wanted me to do some Morpher thing, some stupid White Ranger, 22 White Ranger Morpher thing. And I said, you know what, you guys, okay, you ready for me to make you another million? Are you ready? Because I make you guys millions and I get shit from it, but you ready to make millions? I will only do a Master Morpher. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That's not a good idea. I got people duplicating them all day long. They're making them.
Yep.
Give people a Master Morpher. So I heard them rip up their other page with the White Ranger Morpher, the 22 White Ranger Morpher. That ripped that up, and that's between us though. But because I'm on an NDA, but we'll be doing it. I'll be doing a Master Morpher, which makes sense. So there you go, Hasbro. There's another $1 million. So let Tommy Oliver's legacy rest in peace until you guys can get your stuff together and give the actors something that they should do.
So he kind of leaked that this thing was even happening, and they finally revealed it after it had already been released in Singapore and a bunch of stuff at PulseCon. We finally got it. So this was retailing for $65, which is a little bit more than all the other versions of the Power Morpher we've had so far, the regular, the pink, the yellow. But it is not as expensive as I was expecting. I was expecting a $100 price tag, and we didn't get that, which is good. But this thing is already sold out multiple times on Hasbro Pulse. It was back up for pre-order for like a November 1st release. That's gone. Now it's skyrocketing in price. So hopefully they'll do another round of these. I feel like they'd be kind of dumb to not do that, because this is a very, very highly requested item. But let's take a look at it. So here, of course, is the Master Morpher box with the Master Morpher on there on the front. Now, this does not do a good job of depicting how pretty this thing is in person with all of the chrome and the vac metal on the plates, which makes it incredibly show accurate, which I really like. I love the art. I love it a lot. However, I think it looks like JDF. I really do like that it's his appearance from the Super Ninja Steel episode. But right there, the art depicts him morphing with the Morpher still in its holster. You can't do that. You cannot fit the Morpher into the holster when it's opened like that, and besides, that's not even the correct pose and the way he's supposed to do it anyway. So I don't like that the artwork is wrong, but I do like the artwork. It's kind of a conflicting thing. Now this does take 3 AAA batteries that are not included, so you're going to have to provide those. On the side here, we just have Tommy Oliver Master Morpher, and then a picture of it with the Dragonzord coin. And on the other side, we get kind of another angle, or kind of a bigger angle of that Tommy artwork, which, like I said, I do think looks really pretty. On the bottom, all of the safety stuff, the plastic-free packaging, the barcode, all those kind of things. The top is really pretty. With these kind of look like sort of like renders from like the Super Mega Force intro, that kind of thing. But we have the White Ranger, the Red Zeo Ranger, the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger, the White Ninjetti Ranger, the Red Turbo Ranger, and the Black Dino Thunder Ranger. Which thankfully we got figures of all of those in the Lightning Collection before this came out, and before the line went on hiatus, so there's a plus there. And on the back here, it just shows that it comes with 6 power coins for you to do all of his different morphs and all of his different forms. You get die-cast coins, you get a different kind of stand compared to the original Morpher stand, how big it is right there, and another render of it. And that is basically that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at the Tommy Oliver Master Morpher. Okay, so here is the Master Morpher out of the box with all of the coins on the display base and all that kind of good stuff there. I really do like this thing a lot, but being a Lightning Collection item, of course, there's always going to be like one sort of oversight or something that I don't understand why it happened the way that it did, and we'll get there with that. But taking a look at kind of the stand to start, since it's sort of the least exciting thing, but it is still cool. I do like that this is a different stand than the original Morphers that we've had, because that stand worked perfectly fine for what it was, but it definitely got a little stale after a while. And so I do like that this has an ability to have 5 coins on the front instead of 4 coins, or Pogs, as the Yellow Ranger Morpher came with. I just have one of those right here. But, you know, you could, I guess, put those there if you wanted to. But you can still fit the Pogs, so good thing to know that it is Pog compatible. But basically, like, I like that it's a little bit different. I like that it's kind of more of a memorial kind of looking thing, because you have, like, sort of, you know, the rocks, like it's a statue or something like that. So I do like all of the new design aspects to it. And you do have this little door up here that I don't want to knock all the coins off, but you can open this little flap now and store the coins in there if you wanted to. I knew that they were going to fall, so you can do that if you want to. But I don't really know why you would. I like the feature, but I don't know, it just seems kind of strange to me. And if you want to have all the coins on display at once, you have to have one in the Morpher at all times. So I do have the Green Ranger coin is kind of my default display one. I might change that out every once in a while. So I'm going to take a look at each coin as I put them into the Morpher. So we will take a look at those. Thankfully, mine came with all the right coins. That is one thing that people have been having a problem with. I've seen people have like multiples of the Tiger Sword coin, multiples of the Turbo coin, and all that kind of stuff. And there is a problem with the Zeo coin that we'll get to when I get to it. But here is the Morpher itself, very nicely chrome. You can probably see me in there a little bit somewhere. Hello, there I am. So, very shiny, very reflective, which is accurate to the show. I always like the look of chrome or vac metal toys, but I don't usually like to have them in person because I don't like when they chip and everything like that. It makes trying to find them on the aftermarket very difficult. And I just hope that this can hold up over time and still look as pretty as it does, because it is show accurate to look like this, so I'm glad that it does. I would probably have preferred it to have been like die-cast metal like the original Bandai Legacy Morpher was, or even the Bandai Legacy 24 karat gold Tommy one that they released. If it was kind of like that, I feel like I would probably like it a little bit more, but I never would have expected Hasbro to do that. I didn't even expect Hasbro to do the actual reflectiveness to it, and I'm glad that they did. You do have the nice symbol out here that I think is supposed to kind of represent like the Zeo kind of techie chest pattern on the front, so I've always liked that. You have the, kind of matte black paint on the power bolts. On the back, you just have this. There is a little chip there on mine, but it's the back of it, so I don't really care. It's a slightly different kind of gold paint. It's almost sort of like almost a bronze that they used back here for this. And to be honest, I'm not sure exactly how accurate this is. I feel like this is supposed to have the silver that's on the back of the movie Morphers, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's the back of it, so I don't really care. And of course, there is the battery compartment. Now, of course, my biggest complaint with this thing is not its own fault, it's just the fault of the Hasbro Morphers, and that's there's no power switch on this thing. There's no on and off switch on here anywhere, so it's perpetually on as long as it has batteries in there, and I don't like that. But before we take a look at the sounds, here's the holster really quickly. It's the same exact one we've had 3 other times before, so not very important or, anything like that, but, it's a nice thing to include. You have the belt clips, you can rest it onto the display stand like that. It serves its purpose, exactly what it needs to do. So without further ado, we've wasted so much time already, and we haven't gotten into any of the sounds. So let's go ahead and start with the Dragonzord coin, Tommy's first coin that he ever had, his first power set with the Green Ranger, and listen to those really interesting sounds that we have from Jason David Frank himself. Dragonzord power now! So I adore the fact that we actually have Jason David Frank in this toy, recording brand new sounds specifically meant for it, but that's also where my complaints come in. So some of the sounds in here, and Jordan and Emily confirmed this during PulseCon, they wrote this, or I don't think they did specifically, but Hasbro wrote the script for Tommy, all the Tommy lines that are in this toy. And that leads to some really weird dialogue choices. So you would think that a given would be that Tommy would have... Don't worry, this is a good kind of green. You would think that he would have all of his morph calls at the very least, and he does kind of, but we'll get to that with some of the other coins. So what's interesting about this toy is that every coin has 6 phrases when you just open and close the Morpher. As you just heard there's also like some secret sounds, so that's one of them. There's another one when you use the White Ranger coin that we'll try to get. So there's some sounds that I hope I don't miss, but there's like kind of a random-ish aspect to what sounds this thing's going to make, and so it kind of makes playing with it a little bit difficult, but they are interesting sounds, so we'll go ahead and at least do 6 different times with the Dragon Zord coin so we can try to get all the Dragon Zord Green Ranger related sounds. So let's do this again.
It's morphin' time.
And you do get the nice green light with the Dragon Zord coin, and of course you don't have to keep closing and opening the plates, you can just click the button again.
Green Ranger power now. Dragon Zord. 1993, it's morphin' time.
So that's like the weirdest one with the, I'll say what I think is the weirdest one for each coin. That's definitely, I think, the weirdest one for the Green Ranger coin, because you have, you know, Dragon Zord, you have the morph call you would want out of this thing, even though it's kind of randomized when you would get it, which is kind of unfortunate. I like that you have Green Ranger power, because it's kind of like, I think he even said that in Super Ninja Steel, I think, even though that's more of kind of a Season 3 kind of morph call. And of course, him shouting out Dragon Zord, I love having that. But 1993, it's morphin' time? I don't know, it just seems kind of strange, but okay.
Sometimes the original is the best.
I like that one a lot. I think that's a fun one.
Dragon Zord power now.
So you have one that says Dragon Zord, which I think is supposed to be more of the morph, and then you have Dragon Zord power now.
It's morphin' time.
You just have regular, it's morphin' time.
Green Ranger power now.
You don't always get that phrase there. I think you have to do all the sounds in a row, and then you get the phrase that I did earlier by accident. I think. Now, I will also use the Green Ranger coin because it's kind of fitting here to get one of the secret sounds. So in the original Morphers, if you held down the power button or the little morph button, but prevented it from opening, you would get a secret sound from Alpha 5, and you get a secret sound from Tommy if you do that this time.
Go on. Keep trying. See what happens.
So I think that's supposed to be kind of an evil Tommy kind of thing. There's no instruction manual of how this thing works. I mean, there is, but it just shows you to do like, hey, put the coin in here, click the button. It doesn't tell you how many phrases are in this thing, and it doesn't tell you to get those secret sounds. And some of them I didn't even know existed until like the 3rd or 4th review of this toy that I saw before it got revealed. It's such a weird, fascinating thing. I don't think it matters how many times you open it. You're always going to have that kind of sound there. I don't think there's another secret sound after you do this 6 times. But here is the Dragon Zord coin, just in some detail there. So, the original pictures we got of this leaked, the coins looked really cheap looking and not as nice and all chromy as the ones, as I'm knocking stuff over, not as chromy as the ones that were from the original Morphers. I have Mastodon right here, and I will test out these coins later on. So they're not as chromy, obviously, but these are like kind of more show accurate to be like this, so I do kind of prefer this. And they do look a lot better in person than they did in the toy pictures. And then there's nothing on the backs. The original ones had the Ranger helmets on the back, but there's none of that there, which I think is perfectly fine, because you're not really going to be looking at the backs of them. So next up we have the Tiger Zord coin, which I think looks exactly how it should. These are nice die-cast metal, so there is all of that there. Now, sometimes it doesn't want to read it properly, but you got to line up the little clips there and then rotate it. And that's a white light, so it looks like we are getting a White Ranger sound, as we should. So let's close this up.
Alright, Saba, let's do it. Ooh, Tiger style.
That's the weirdest one with this one. Ooh, Tiger style.
Tiger power. Ooh-yah!
Love his battle grunts in there.
White Ranger, Tiger power. Now, I just need Saba and the gangs back together. It's a Tiger style.
It's, I love the iconic phrase there.
Alright, Saba, let's do it. Vanilla, chocolate, smoothies from Ernie's Juice Bar. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's like the weirdest sound in this entire toy. And that's the one where you kind of open and close the plates 6 times with Tiger Zord, and you get that one. But it's such a weird one. It's like vanilla, chocolate, smoothies from Ernie's Juice Bar. Like, it's such a weird sound. I don't know why it's in here. But okay. So that is the Tiger Zord coin. The 6 phrases there. If I can get it to pop out. Now, what's really cool is that this toy includes the Falcon Zord coin, which is something he never used in the Master Morpher or in the Soul of the Dragon comic. But it is a coin that would make logical sense for him to have, so I am appreciative that it is included nonetheless. So there is the Falcon Zord coin design. Let's go ahead and put this into the Morpher.
White Ranger, Falcon Zord. Power up. Let's do it, guys. Ninja Ranger power. Falcon Zord now. Ancient powers of the ninjas gonna take you down.
So since there is no, like, phrases from him using this coin with this Master Morpher, I don't really have any problem with any of those. I think that none of them are very weird or anything like that. I just like that the coin's included. I would have been fine if it wasn't, and I'm glad that it's here. So I have really no problems with those ones. I don't think there is a sound or a secret sound with the Falcon Zord coin, but we'll find out. I have no idea what that sound was. I have literally never heard that sound before in any review of this toy. Okay, I don't know what that was. Now we go on to the worst coin, which is unfortunate because it's probably my favorite design coin, and that is the Zeo Ranger 5 coin. And that's because with the only one being having paint applications on it, there is a known problem where the red paint is applied really badly. So mine, thankfully, doesn't really have too many chips on it. It just has a little bit of some splotching. But for some people's, it's like they put it into the little baggie before it was finished drying. So there's like little red specks of paint on the internal, like, baggie that are included with these, which is extremely unfortunate. But the design patterns of the Zeo chest there, I think, are done really, really well. And I do like the phrases that we have with the Zeo Ranger 5 red coin.
Surprise!
And of course we have a red light now because it's a Red Ranger.
It's time for the original to show you how it's done. Zeo Ranger 5, red! Time to show you how it's done. Morphin' time!
So I do wish that there was a little bit more unique sounds, because that one's pretty much like a combination of like 2 of the ones we've already had in here.
Crystal-powered Morpher, Zeo 5, activate!
I like that one a lot.
Zeo Ranger 5, now! You're in for a surprise.
So I do like that this one has, Zeo Ranger 5 red, like it's in there, which is good. I don't know if there's a secret sound with Zeo, but we'll find out. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a secret sound with Zeo. I've done it a couple times there, so that's it with this one.
Time to show you how it's done.
Cheers in time. I thought I was going to say, yeah, anyway. So that is it with the Zeo coin. Next up, we have the Turbo coin, one that I'm very glad was included, because it was not seen in Super Ninja Steel, but it was seen in the Soul of the Dragon graphic novel from Boom Studios, and it is one that he's supposed to have, so I am very glad that he has it. And this one has some pretty fun phrases in there, so let's go ahead and lock it in. I do like all the activation sounds, by the way. That one's kind of like a car door opening or something. I don't know, I like that one. That's fun.
Nothing's gonna slow me down.
It's probably the weirdest one of these.
Ready? Let's do it. Shift to the turbo.
That one's really well done.
Can't slow down the Turbo Red Ranger. Red Lightning, turbo power now.
Very happy that one's in there. It makes me think of this TikTok video.
All right, let's do it. Shift to the turbo. Red lightning power now.
All right, guys, shift to the turbo.
Pretty much the same as the one we've had before.
Nothing's gonna slow me down.
And that's pretty much it. So there doesn't seem to be a secret sound with Turbo either. And of course, this is still the same. We're just going to do it again. I know it's been a minute since I've done that. So, like, it's kind of strange because, like, you know, it seems like some of the coins have the secret sound, some of them don't. And it's like, well, what is the consistency here? You know, do they have it? Do they not? Now we have the final coin here. My personal favorite iteration of Tommy. We have the Dino Thunder Black Ranger coin. So there's the Dino Thunder symbol. And it's going to create a nice purple light in here. And I will say, I don't know how it's coming across on camera, and I know we're at the end of this here now, but the light in this toy is incredibly bright. So just keep that in mind. I like that one a lot too. So there's this kind of purplish light.
Dr. O, coming in. Brachial power, now! Alright, knuckleheads, power up!
I like that one.
Brachial power, coming in. It's a...
Pretty much the same as like the first two in this one, but I do like his "it's the iya" at the end.
Tommy Oliver, PhD.
So that's the weirdest one for this one. Okay.
Dino Thunder, Black Ranger.
So I like that. I like him saying Dino Thunder Black Ranger, but we're about to kind of recycle through this here, and there is no sound of him saying Dino Thunder Power Up. And that hurts me so much, as Dino Thunder being my favorite season, this being my favorite version of Tommy. Why? Like, why are there like two sounds for him to say Brachio Power, but not Dino Thunder Power Up? It's so infuriating to me.
Dr. O, coming right at you.
That one's a little bit different, I guess. But I think now we recycle through them. And I know there's an alternate sound in here.
Brachial power, now! Alright, cheeseball. Dino Thunder, Black Ranger.
Yeah, so there's an alright cheese ball before he says Dino Thunder Black Ranger instead of just Dino Thunder Black Ranger.
First of all, never call me dude. It's Oliver. Tommy Oliver, PhD.
So like there's also like the alternate version of that sound in there, which I don't even remember if I knew that was in there. There is a secret sound with the Dragon Zord coin, the Tiger Zord coin, the Falcon Zord coin, alternate sounds with the Dino Thunder coin that are secret, and then I don't think the Turbo ones do anything. But it's kind of confusing to know all of this stuff. And there is still one sound that I know that there's in here that I don't know how to get. There's like an evil Tommy owner, he says something about Rita or something, I think.
Will do.
Bow down to you, Rita. Being evil ain't easy.
Like, what the fuck is that?
For anybody who's interested, here's what the original coins do in the Master Morpher. So here's the Tyrannosaurus. So like it almost looks like it's gonna work, and then it just does not. Nothing. Nope. 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 So if you're curious, they don't, the Tommy ones don't work in the other Morphers either. They do sometimes like accidentally read as like one of the main five, but there is no special phrases or anything like that. It wasn't like they were planning a Master Morpher specifically, or these coins specifically, when they had the other ones in mind. So there's really no cross-compatibility between the Morphers and their coins, but I didn't really expect for there to be so, yeah. And with that, that is going to do it for my review of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Tommy Oliver Master Morpher. So there was a lot of stuff to cover with this video, so I hope that I covered everything as adequately as I could. There's just a lot of sounds, a lot of like kind of, you know, confusing things about how many sounds are in here and how to get those sounds. I think basically this is as good as Hasbro's able to do. Hasbro cannot seemingly release a Lightning Collection item without there being some sort of mistake to it, and it almost seems intentional at this point. And it's like, it's such a frustrating thing because first of all, they didn't even know this thing existed. JDF had to tell them to make this thing. I'm really glad that he did, and as kind of a last gift to the fandom, I adore this thing. I wanted it for so long. It actually really ended up turning out very nicely, but it's the things like the really weird phrases, the very indecisiveness about how you get certain sounds or what certain sounds are going to play. Also, like the whole thing with like the coin problem that people were having with QC, the lack of a Dino Thunder power-up phrase, like just in like the artwork on the box, there's just some like weird things that were made here decision-wise. But I think that this is such a good toy, and such a good idea for them to finally do, and JDF was able to make it happen to the point where a lot of those can be overlooked because they like basically they fumbled their way to it, but they made a really good product at the end of the day here. I just hope that people can actually get their hands on this thing because it is selling out like crazy. The aftermarket price for it is already going up, insane, which I expected it to. This is a very highly requested item, and the passing to JDF is going to make it even more rare. So I hope that they make this thing available for a good amount of time, but if you're able to get your hands on it, try to get it for as good of a price as you can. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the Master Morpher? Were you able to get one during Hasbro PulseCon? Are you in that pre-order window for it and you're just waiting for it to come out? Or are you hoping for there to be another shipment to get one yourself? I want to know about it down in the comments below. And of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LandonVicPR, and I'll see you all later.
To wrap up this video, I'd like to thank my $5 and above patrons: Jurassic Samurai, Maggot Alchemist, Robert Browning, Static Thunder, Brendan Overland, Maji Yellow, MCPC Studios, Comics 1017, James Doherty, Eric Berry, Tyler Bezetsky, Matthew Thorne, Josh Landry, Pyramidas, CPT Tesla, Cross SCV, Caboose Ed, Socket Monsters, Daniel Pika, Hella Geo, Thrasher, Jesus Prime, Uni Warrior Thomas, Louis Carnes, and Carlos Alfredo. You can support Toku Topics for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon, linked in the description below.